Hello guys, back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. In the previous episode of Swallowed Star, we saw Luo Feng, who was taking the second stage Genius Battle Test Session in the 7th level 7th tower facing 7 different creatures and arriving at the first level 7th test tower by fighting the Insect Queen, and this is where Luo Feng encountered an obstacle that made no sense, making him stuck and unable to advance to the next level. After conducting an examination, Changhua found that there was a hack from the outside which made the Insect Queen faced by Long have mental strength above the normal limit. Then can Luo Feng overcome it? And without further ado, we'll jump straight into the storyline. Despite having to fight such a difficult enemy, Luo Feng had a plan to implement an attack that was worth trying. He would directly attack the Insect Queen from a distance by using mental power, but not an ordinary mental attack where Long would use Hua's inherited method Pulse Soul Seal. When he entered the opponent's consciousness, Luang could see that there were balls of light floating around him. Most likely those balls of light were the energy cores of the Insect Queen, and it was from here that Long got visions of the times when the Insect Queen experienced its downfall, the Great War that caused the race to be annihilated by a great power in the universe. But from this there was something that felt very strange, even though the opponent Luo Feng faced was just a virtual form. But how come he could get visions of the opponent's past? That felt very real. Even the thick smell of blood from that time of war could also be smelled by him. The flood of memories of the insect race's past that Luang saw began to give back. He felt his head ache for a short period of time. As for the system problem, at Luo Feng's place, Changhua, who had done his job, gave a report to the Master of the Nine Swords that he found traces of a system hack where the hacker uploaded a consciousness and changed the original model of the data created by the virtual universe company. Now indeed all the effects of the hacking that occurred had been eliminated by Changhua, but unfortunately he still could not read the location and identity of the hacker. Who would have thought that one of the 5 great powers of the universe created by the human race could have its system broken into by outsiders, even though Barbata alone could not do it so far, and of course the ones who can do it are probably the foreign races who have technology that is far more sophisticated and up-to-date than the human race. After receiving a mental backlash earlier, Luang realized that the queen he was fighting had gone beyond her supposed virtual form. It was as if the queen was a very real figure. But not long after, Luang felt that the queen's existence that was so real suddenly disappeared, and when Luo Feng returned to action, the insect groups he was fighting were exhausted and did not return to being born blindly like before. Thus Luo Feng was able to continue this test tower session normally like the other participants. The other genius warriors fighting on the 7th test tower came out one after another with their points and positions constantly shifting, but among the shifting positions there was one entity that had not changed at all since the start of the exam, and that was Bolan Genius number 1, who was still in first place. And absolutely no one could rival the position of this one person, guys. Even though in this 7th tower he only reached the 6th level, for all the geniuses had now exited the exam tower, and all that was left was Luo Feng, because he was previously trapped in the dark system, and it was quite time consuming. The longer Luo Feng dealt with the insects, the more he got information related to this one foreign race, and every time Luo Feng went to the next level in the 7th tower, the stronger the insects he had to face. This moment was perfect for him to train to deal with the problems related to the ruins of civilization number 31 on Earth, making Long feel more enthusiastic in his battle. Luo Feng's position, which now continued to increase, made Princess Brolin feel very upset, because this would affect the Emperor of Black Dragon Mountain, who would later lean towards the 3 Axes Mountain organization, until finally Luo Feng came out of the 7th tower, and very surprisingly Luo Feng skyrocketed with his position now at number 3, displacing Ai Chen, who had to drop to 4th place. Along with that, at Hargrave's place came a representative sent by the Emperor giving a report that because Hargrave had worked hard for many years managing the Imperial Marshal Team, he would henceforth be promoted to Deputy Commander, commanding 3 regions and managing important tasks, just as Princess Brolin would be promoted to head of the Imperial Marshal Team. Both would take office the next day rather than an achievement. Princess Brolin realized that this was a ploy used by the Three-Axis Mountain organization to compromise with the Emperor, just to separate her from her troublemaking grandfather. Although the princess was still unwilling to give up, Hargrave asked her to stop her intention to deal with Luo Feng, as it was only a step away for Luo Feng to merge into the core layer of the Virtual Universe Company, and once that happened, then the princess would never again be able to touch Luo Feng, whose caste was already too high compared to hers. So just give up Princess Brolin, just like the Nolan Shan family, who were seen on their way to leave the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. The laws of the universe are as hard as Nolan Shan, who realized this, preferred to run away rather than later have to deal with Luo Feng elsewhere. Hong, who also heard the chappy news from Luo Feng, could only congratulate the third younger brother from a distance in the Genius Battle lobby area. After seeing Luo Feng's rapidly rising position, Rong Jun was now even more eager to fight Luo Feng again. Lord Nine Swords then announced that the selection of the Tower of Trial was now over, and those participants who made it into the top 1,000 would then participate in the final session of the Genius Battle, the single battle tournament. The Virtual Universe Company would randomly group the participants in a 1-in-1 battle to determine the outcome, where the winner could continue to participate in the next battle. The last reward from rank 1000 to 101, they will get a bonus of 10 yuan and are entitled to enter the last phase secret realm. Furthermore, rank 100 to 1 will get a bonus of 100 yuan and are entitled to enter the Heaven and Earth secret realm. As for rank 10 to 3, it will get a bonus of 1000 yuan and are entitled to enter the Absolute Beginning secret realm. And finally, positions 1 and 2 get a bonus of 10,000 yuan and are entitled to enter the Primal secret realm. On the other hand, Shong, who focused on the prizes obtained by the participants, was shocked to the point of gaping his mouth, as 1 yuan currency was equivalent to 1 trillion cosmic coins, or 3,300 Qian Wu coins. If converted into Black Dragon Mountain currency, it would total 3.30 million trillion, and the participants can get 10 times the money when they are in the 1000th position. How can you not get the participants excited? Apart from earning money, there was also the right to enter 4 regions of space. Luo Feng became curious about the 4 regions and was later explained by Barbata. When the universe evolved, there were 4 regions that were not affected by the evolutionary process that occurred, and the 4 regions were transformed by the Virtual Universe Company in the form of virtual simulations, with the aim of cultivating geniuses. Apart from being filled with abundant treasures, the place is also considered very dangerous, and now the quota to join the core members of the Virtual Company is only 1,000 quotas. Those who manage to reach that position can join immediately, which means the points previously accumulated by the participants seem to be meaningless in this single tournament. For those who lose, then it means they will be directly eliminated. Lord Nine Swords emphasized that the Virtual Universe Company was not a holy land for the human race, that was only used for cultivation, training. Many geniuses had joined the company, but many of them had died. The biggest death toll was the war between the human race and foreign races. The various races from outside never slowed down the pace of their invasion. That was why the Virtual Universe Company was trying to cultivate geniuses, of course, to be able to deal with foreign races. After revealing the intentions and goals of his company, Lord Nin Swords then asked the participants to make preparations before the peak session of the Genius Battle began. Luo Feng himself understood very well how dangerous interference from foreign races was, because the Earth itself was currently in a similar condition. Moving on to the ruins of ancient civilization number 31, the dangerous location where the bug race's mother nest was located. From the results of the previous monitoring, it was known that the mother nest located there was currently fast asleep, so it did not pose a threat for the time being. Luo Feng suggested to Luo Feng, the Earth owner, not to spread information related to this matter to the public to prevent any commotion. Not far away were Luo Feng's younger brother, wife, and two subordinates, who were seen spreading a special gravitational wave receiving device around the nest. With these devices, if there is even the slightest change in the mother nest, Luo Feng will receive a warning as soon as possible. When approaching his wife, Luang asked why Xuan came to that dangerous place. Xuan replied, if the bug mother lair was awakened, then there was no safe place on Earth anymore, and again the warrior was in charge of fighting, while ordinary people seemed to be supporting the activities of the warriors. With the situation as it is now, Luo Feng can focus on making preparations for the next battle competition, while this part of the ruins problem will be taken up by Lin and others. Entering the training room, when Luang recalled what he saw in the Bug Queen's memories earlier, he explained to Barbata that the most effective way to deal with the Insect Queen was to attack her mentally with the Soul Seal skill. However, Barbata wasn't too sure Luo Feng could handle the threat of the brood nest on Earth. Hu Yanbu alone couldn't handle it, let alone Luo Feng. If Luo Feng really wanted to overcome the mother layer, then the only way was to obtain a higher and more profound mental secret technique, and the chance of being able to obtain a secret ability of such a level was to enter the primal secret realm, and that could be Luo Feng's entry. If he managed to win the first and second place of the Genius Battle tournament, and without lingering, the last round of Genius Battle finally began. Luo Feng's first opponent in this tournament was a large sword-wielding warrior. By using his illusory body as a lure, Luo Feng, who got the chance to make a fatal attack, managed to win the duel, making Luang enter the top 16 in the tournament, and the opponents he had to face next were truly powerful geniuses. Meanwhile, Bolan was seen tearing apart his dual opponents with ease, making many of the spectators believe that Bolan would definitely be the champion again. As for Rong Jun, he also managed to defeat a strong participant. His opponent at that time was the strongest representative of the Jin universe country, the participant named Long Yun. Although he is not very flashy, but his actions are very consistent. This person deserves to be a dark horse in the Genius Battle of the tournament this time. Guys, the strong female warriors such as Wuka and Iron also continued to win in the ongoing duel, until finally Luang had to battle with Lia Genius, who had illusionary powers that were considered very mysterious. Hong, who was watching with Earth people wearing a hologram body, hoped that Luo Feng could overcome the opponent's difficult ability. The battlefield was located in an active mountainous area, and when coming face to face with his opponent, Luo Feng felt palpitations when he saw Luo Feng's eyes, even though the mental levels of the two were set to be the same. Fortunately, Luo Feng's soul core was already supported by the emptiness defense soul core, which acted as a defense. That way Luo Feng should still be able to withstand the opponent's attack that was said to be able to win just by using his gaze alone. So that's the storyline of Swallowed Star. This video will end here. Thank you for watching.